welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is June 5th, 2022. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Hey, it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. We're back at it again. We are tired because we were grinding all day, boy.
Bro, it's from GoFest to now. Everything has just been a crazy, it's been a crazy weekend. A crazy, interesting week too. I can tell you that much. But overall, just waiting for this weekend to start and end. Now we're here. We're gonna talk about our experiences. Gonna talk everything Pokemon GoFest 2022. Our retrospect, our experience with everything that has happened today. Probably a little bit of outcry of the community, but we'll definitely talk about a lot of different things out there. But yeah, so we're here once again to talk about Pokemon Go news, updates, and ranting about Pokemon GoFest 2022 because we love the game just as much as everybody else that listens to this podcast. Let's remind everybody that we are part of Professor Network. If I'm going too fast, it's because I'm trying to get to this part. Check us out at purifiedpodcast.com or the professornetwork.com/purifiedpodcast. Wonderful people to work with every single day. That being said, oh man, Chris, hasn't it been a 10 weekend of everything that has happened? It's crazy. And
yeah, it's been wild, man.
Dude, it's crazy to say that this is one of the best weekends we had in a long time, but at the same time, it's one of the biggest events of the year. One, because there's a couple more coming up in the next few weeks, few months. But it's just incredible, you know. Now, we usually go over our recaps of how we actually got throughout the week. But we're going to kind of like mix it up a little bit this time around just because there's so much to talk about. Mostly because we definitely want to talk about GoFest and how everything went through those 2 days, what we experienced, what everybody else experienced, you know, how the community has gone through. And then we'll definitely talk about our shiny hauls. And I mean, I have some amazing ones even for the week itself and not just from GoFest that I will definitely show you guys. You'll probably tell what I have, but you know, if you're in live stream, that's a different story. Anyways, I don't know why my character's literally like doing jumping jacks from here to there. It wants to keep going, you know. It's like it wants to keep going around. But anyway, so Chris, let's talk GoFest, shall we?
All right.
Now we're going to divide this into two different parts. We're gonna go ahead and go to day one, and then we'll talk about day two. Just because, again, each day had many different ways of how you actually play. So we actually want to give out our experiences each one of them. So to recap day one, how was your day, Chris?
It wasn't, the best, I'll say, because I was stuck at work for a bit of it, but that isn't Niantic's fault. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I will say, it wasn't horrible because, they did up the incense for GoFest.
Yes.
So I was grinding that.
Yeah, so anybody who actually bought a ticket to GoFest, sneakily through, Niantic actually said, we're going to boost the incense spawns from 1 every 5 minutes in a stationary to 1 every minute stationary. So we're still getting 1 spawn per minute, which is technically 60 spawns per hour. And that was pretty good, you know. Every hour you're getting 60 spawns. That's not too bad. So it was kind of like a little sneaking from Niantic saying, hey, might as well, you know, enjoy it as you can in the end of the thing. So.
Yeah, enjoy it. It's the last time you'll ever see it.
Right. So yeah, so what else, Chris? What else did you experience that day?
Just off of that, I was able to, you know, grind through all of the capture challenges that they had. Pretty much just by luck alone, I'd say. Because, you could get very unlucky and just not have the Pokemon spawn off the incense that you needed last.
Right.
So, obviously, it'd be a lot easier if you went out and about, especially since they gave you until day 2 for that. But yeah, that part, fantastic, completing all the challenges for that. Was able to get a shiny at work, but I may talk about that a little bit later.
Yes, definitely. Right now we're talking about experiences. We'll definitely talk about our holds a little bit into it. So anything else that you felt? Like maybe did you actually meet up with anybody in the community? Did you? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
aside
yeah.
from me,
Like you don't know. Oh yeah.
anybody else though that you saw around, say hi or anything like that during the time,
um, not
even before meeting
not
me, of
like
course.
anybody I really like went out of my way to meet up with.
Right. Aside from me.
Like after I got out, I needed to load up on Pokeballs right away.
Yeah.
So I went around getting a little bit of a supply together, and then just happened to message you, hey, you want to do a trade today?
Mm.
And yeah, we ended up hanging out the whole rest of GoFest yesterday,
It was
just
the
grinding.
second half of the event. After the second round of
Yeah.
biomes is when we actually met up. The last, probably like the last 2.5 hours, we met up and we just. Chris and I, we live close by, but we somehow just never plan ahead and be like, we're gonna be together in a day or so. I don't know until
I'll
like
be
day two.
honest, I don't grind that much either
Right,
anymore.
right, right. So it's
Um,
kind of like, for some reason, it's just something that, like, we have our own agendas when it comes down to it. I want to grind. He grinds as much as he wants to, but not as much as I do. So that's why it's a little bit of like, I want to say opposites attract, but still, I mean, it works.
oh my god.
But yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, we still met up. We had such a blast.
Mhm.
Um, Definitely a different experience that I would assume, but there's still a lot of people out there that love the first day. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So before we get into a host, let me talk about my experience, of course. So I started off the day actually a little bit hectic because I actually had to go to my parents before GoFest started. So in reality, I was late to the event for like maybe 10 minutes because I was like making sure that I get like everything else done. It was just one of
Yeah.
those family things that I had to take care of before anything. So luckily it was early in the morning and I got out pretty quickly afterwards and I was like up to the races. I mean, I want to say kudos to my car because my car had actually had probably the best day, the worst day of all between yesterday and today. But yeah, so I gone to my usual grind spot, one of the local parks, which is around 30 minutes away, but it's not too bad if it's like a weekend or something. Now, before we actually started all this, we did have kind of like a surprise tropical storm or tropical depression happening to come around us in the Florida area this day. So we were worried that we were gonna get outcast from just itself, but for some reason it skewed over to a different place of Florida, and it just completely missed us. Now, the good thing about that though is that it was nice and cloudy, not too hot. Every now and then you get a sprinkle of rain just to help with the sweat. But it was nice, and luckily, I hope that everybody else who was playing in Florida during that time in that area specifically were safe throughout it. So hopefully you still have a good experience, even though we were kind of like locked into staying safe. Either way, I started the day. I went to the park. 10 minutes late. Before that, of course, in the car, just safely, putting on all my all my bonuses, so all the NSES, all the lucky pieces or lucky eggs and star pieces and all that. So I was getting all of that ready before I actually get to park. I park. Luckily, it's not too busy of a day. And I started grinding. I started meeting up with a couple of community members in the area, and people were just like, "Hey, we're here, this, that," and you see like a lot of people just on their phones, a lot of kids playing on their phones, like 3, 4, 5 different groups of people just like hanging around, walking around the entire area. Amazing experiences as always, and we started catching things and going through about it. Between then and the first 4 hours, which was of course the 4 hours where the first 4 biomes came around, I was just grinding, and making sure that I did a lot of raids. I did a lot of just clicking around, but it seemed like a low experience in the shiny count at the first, for sure. And I think everybody had that same feeling, like in each biome.
Yeah.
Even though it was an hour biome each rotation, and we still had like another rotation of it, it still didn't feel like the shiny rates were increased as much as people were saying, or at least have Niantic basically taught us. But of course, everybody has different experiences on some point. I met up with a friend of mine from work, and he actually didn't really get that much on day one either. He actually got pretty mediocre shinies from ones that I saw, at least for what I can remember. And he ended the day just half the day, and then he went home afterwards. So mostly because he wanted to just do what he can and did a lot of remotes afterwards. After that, after the first rotation, I went to get something to eat during one of the biomes that didn't seem as enticing as it was. I think it was the Thunder biome. Got me some Chick-fil-A. And then I messaged Chris to be like, "Hey, what you doing in those last few hours?" It's like, "Oh, I'm just here around and everything. You know what? Let's just meet up." And drove another 20 plus minutes to where he was. And then we just stayed in the car and grind car through a parking lot of a college for the rest of the last few hours there, which was still pretty nice. And luckily, because there's no school or minimal school, there's like literally nobody in the area. So aside from the grinders, because we all know that that is the place to grind, a lot of gyms, a lot of spots, and a lot of spawns. So can't complain when it came down to it. And yeah, just have fun. In the end of the day, met up with a lot of other people that usually are in that part of the area, and still pretty good experience either way. Everybody was like, "Hey, we got everything. We got this. We got that." And then a lot of them was like, "Yeah, I got this."
Yeah, we flexing. We flexing.
Yeah, we're flexing. So overall, a pretty good experience. And this is a global Go Fest, so unless there's like big like meetups that people are doing or things like that, we really don't actually like plan out like a whole community of meetups. And even a lot of the YouTubers now that I've been seeing a little bit of videos of day one, they didn't really plan out like a meetup with their community either. They just said, "Hey, let's just grind out the weekend," and that's basically what they did. They just meet up with their friends and did what they could. That's gonna be more probably different when it comes to the actual GoFest experience in Seattle. So, because everybody's gonna basically be in one place at one time when it comes down to it. But yeah, I think we talked enough. Hey, Mater, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you had a wonderful GoFest experience too. So, with that being said, and a lot of ranting on that part and how our experience went for only day one, because we only had the day one experience there, let's talk about our shiny hauls of that day, actually, shall we? What we got on day one.
All right. Day one.
Day one. And I'm actually going to, at least in my side, I'm going to turn it off so I can actually show you just day one shinies. What you got, Chris?
Well. I thought I had one more. So I'll double check really quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say at least
GoFest. Right.
I had the lovely shiny of a shiny Pikachu.
Ooh.
With the little crown, the little flowers on the sides.
And if male or female?
That was the male.
Ooh. So that was your first shiny?
Yes.
Nice.
And that was while I was still at work. Mm-hmm. Every now and then, oh yeah, we'll probably talk about this later, but every now and then I'd miss the incense spawns. Oh, yeah. So I'd be screaming, thinking, "Oh, that was the shiny." But after that, I don't think I got. Oh yeah, I did get a shiny a little bit after. I got a shiny Numel while I was at work.
Nice. That's
so I was pretty excited for that.
Yeah, brand new shiny.
Yeah. Any of the new ones I really want to grab. And then there was a bunch from this event that I was just grinding because I didn't have them. So this is one that I know a lot of people wanted. I got the shiny Galarian Weezing.
Nice.
And I think I got that pretty much after we met up.
Yes.
I think right after you got yours too. Pretty much.
Weezing. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But after that, I was able to get a shiny ball toy. My first one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I got a shiny giraffe rig. Another new one.
Blue nose.
And funny enough, shiny Dunsparce, very new for me, even though it's probably been out, one of the longest out of the non-com day ones.
Right.
I pulled up a second shiny giraffe rig, and also got a shiny Trapinch, which I evolved into a Vibrava for the quest and then didn't touch again.
I mean, a shiny is a shiny, so...
Yeah.
That's it.
But that was it. Yeah, that was it for day one. I didn't go too crazy.
So what was the total on day one then?
That was 8.
8, which is
I
not
thought
bad.
There was 9, but
you probably missed it.
I think I just miscounted, honestly.
You didn't trade one to another person, right? Do you remember?
I don't think so. Unless I think I got Rufflet day one,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I mirror traded that. Okay, that makes
Yep.
more sense.
Yep, yep, yep,
That
yep, yep.
makes more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember.
Rufflet was another one I was grinding
Yeah.
for a
So you
while and
did get
finally
nine
got that.
then. Nine shinies,
Yes.
yes. So that's pretty good. That's actually pretty nice. Well, okay. Well, that I mean, some shinies were actually pretty good. I mean, I'm glad that you actually got some of the ones that were gonna hold out for you since release time, but
Yeah,
9 months
that
ago.
Rufflet took all my money and ran.
Yeah, definitely. But still a good grind. Not too bad for an 8 hour event. It's mostly like at least one shiny every hour, so it hasn't been too bad. As for me, I did get quite a bit of shinies. I got double of what she actually got, and that's because I was out and playing instead of just working.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. So it's not the Kyogre, so not 19, but I got 18 shinies. I got this one the day before. Funny enough, since I was actually going to the place, I see a Dratini on one of the red lights that I was just sitting there, and then I click on it. I was like, "There's no way this is shiny." I'm always happy to see a Dratini or anything like that, and boom, shiny. It's like 1 minute before the GoFest started, literally 1 minute on the red light. I was like, "What the everlasting f?" To really start the day, how it is. Anyways, and then after that, I started clicking on many things. The first biome gave me a slog up, not the best new shiny for today, but it's all the pink ones. Then I get another Kyogre, which is nice because I am hunting for the extra large and shinies and Shandus if
Oh
possible.
yeah.
And then I get a Whalmer and the Tundra, and I was like, okay, why did I collect on this, and why did it have to be shiny? and then
Baby Kyogre.
and then on the city biome, I get the goddamn Grimer. I'm like, bro, am I just gonna get like all pink shinies, all purple shinies? Like, what is going on here? Literally every shiny except for like the new ones that just appeared. They just wanted to be shining. I do a Ray for Groudon. I get a shiny, so that's really good. Then I go about. This is actually by the time I believe I met up with you. Or no, actually no. I get the Rowlet. I get the Rufflet when I'm still in the first biome of, I believe um the city biome. I think that's when he was spawning. I believe. I
Mhm.
don't know why you want me your camera, but okay.
I'm just dancing.
I know, right? And then I get two Litleos actually, and in the span I'm probably like. Actually, no. I got the Lilius with you, or was it the Lilius with
I
Sarasota?
think you got one of them with me, but I think you got one before me.
Right. So I get the female one. No, 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 no. I get both of them in there because it's the last hour I'm working around, and I actually happy enough that I got those two, and I'm happy enough as it is. What's the handle for the Ultra Beast? We'll talk about that in just a moment. But yeah, so I get the female one and then I get the male one not too long after, which is nice because both. And this was brand new shinies for me too. Rufflet I already had from the one of the Safari Zones.
The male shiny. I can't believe that.
I know, I was happy about that too. It's actually incredible to get both of them in the end of the day. And then we go. I think it's that when I said that's when I met web with you, and then I get the Omanite. I don't know how I. Oh yeah, we did a Groudon together. I remember that. We did like one
Yeah.
of the Groudons together, and mine was shiny, so I got another Groudon. Then you said you had the Weezing, but I had the Weezing before that, so yes, I did get another holdout shiny Weezing, which was new for me, so that's not bad. Not new for the entire thing. Then I go plus a Pidove. Go plus going ham whenever I don't want to click on them. That's how it is. And then afterwards, I do get the shiny Axew from a raid. And I'm happy about it because, again, it's a shiny. Shiny's a shiny. Kind of want to actually power it up, but, it is what it is. Then I do click on a Burmy. I get the shiny Burmy on day one. It is a female, so it will evolve into the Wormadad, I believe.
Yeah.
Go over to my Gold Plus. Happy to get my first ever Clink that I've been looking for forever at this point.
Let's go.
And this is not the research. This is actually the GoFest one. It was spawning through that in time. Then I
It
get
is
a
cool
Weasel.
that it's low CP.
Oh yeah, I also get a Weasel, which is nice. It's also a brand new shiny. I've been looking for it since it released, surprisingly. And then an N at the last few minutes of the GoFest, literally go plus the Numel to end the battle biome and get my shiny Numel for the very first time. So Overall, 18 shinies not counting the Kyogre. I don't believe I did any trades. I did probably do trades, but it wasn't in the haul itself, so that's actually pretty good. Yes, I did do, I think, one special trade with somebody on that day. I can't remember, though. I do remember doing one. It was for a Gibble. I got a Gibble, and it was just trash. I just transferred it anyways because I had too many anyways. And then the second special trade of the day on day one, I don't remember what I did. Was that a lucky trade? I can't remember. I think I did, but I just probably transferred it because it was trash or something. Either way.
I know you traded my friend Buster.
Oh yeah, I got the
for
other
shiny
Gibble.
Gibble.
Yeah, so the two Gibbles that I got traded to, I just trashed them anyways.
Oh,
Even though one was lucky. Sorry, I just can't keep the kind of shiny when it's not the Hondo or close to the Hondo. Sorry. Your friend is gonna be like, hey, that was like
poor
my
guy.
second lonely one. But yeah, I mean, he got like, I don't know, 20 or something.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
played the community day.
Yeah. So it was interesting when it comes down to this. But yeah, so that's our retrospect on day one, and meeting up with a lot of the people was actually pretty good and seeing a lot of different things. People were just like, I think a friend of ours in day one, they got like 4 shiny Axios or something. And it was
Dude,
close to back to back. I
yeah.
was like, I don't know what was going on with that.
This guy was going crazy.
I know. Most of everybody has gotten like a good haul. I know a few of them didn't get as much in day 2, but day 1, of course, it was what it was. And then before we really move over to day 2, when it comes down, let's talk about some things that happened during GoFest in general. So a lot of people were saying, first and foremost, that the shiny rates were actually a lot lower than were expected to be. Now, of course, a lot of people are actually used to community day shinies, which is like 1 in like 10 or 1 in 20, and they expect that every single event thanks to this will probably be the same, which is not. They do slightly boost the shiny rate, hence why we get shinies. If it were actually full odds throughout the event, then you will never feel
You'd get maybe one.
maybe one the entire 8 hours or things like that. The grades were significantly okay between Kyogre, Groudon, also Axew, and the new Pikachu, of course. And, overall, still a pretty good one. There was a little glitch that Niantic did actually post out, both between day 1 and day 2, first and day 1, is that whenever you actually had a spawn through the incest, it just disappeared the moment you click on it, even though it was already on the map for the very first time. And that was actually a visual glitch, unfortunately, that it kind of made people a lot madder than it should have. But that's because every time you click on it, it just goes away, and it was literally a minute later. It wasn't even a minute through the stationary. It was literally probably 30 seconds, even less, before the Pokemon despawn and things like that. So people were kind of a little upset because most of the spawns from the instance were actually the good ones. Axew, Darumaka, Galarian Weezing, Mr. Crime,
my gosh.
even all the unknowns were just spawning in, unfortunately, instances, and they were not spawning in lures or in the wild for that regard. So it was kind of hard to kind of shiny check in those points. A lot of them were really hard to even hunt for just because they were just gone the moment you tried to do anything. So
yeah, very disheartening for sure.
Yeah, so Niantic did arrest it. Not sure if they're going to do anything about it now that the weekend is basically over. It's still happening in a couple parts in the world. It's kind of gonna be over pretty soon in a lot of other places, but I don't know if there will actually be like a somewhat of a makeup when it comes down to it. I'm not entirely sure. We will have to wait and see what Niantic really plans to do for those affected, or basically everybody was affected, even us. And it wasn't just the region, one specific region. It was everybody playing GoFest, no matter what it is. So, guess Niantic messed up in one way. It had to be that way, okay. Either way, a lot of people were actually, getting a bunch of shinies, a bunch of things for just day 1. So it was actually a pretty successful day for a lot of us in that regard. I know that it seemed like we weren't getting a lot for the first few hours. And I actually kind of felt it. And a lot of people in the community in the first half kind of felt it. They were like, oh, I'm not getting anything. No new shinies, no new this, nothing. And then either one of they get more shinies at the second half, or they just stop playing altogether because they think it's a ripoff. So aside from that, at least in day one, it was pretty good. Everybody was just sending raids all over the place, making sure that they could do. Everybody in my close to probably 80% of my friend list was online for the very first time in months.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully we'll see how that will go through. Miss Queen, thank you once again to join us. And there is a Pokemon Go Fest Day 3 on August 22, is what we were told is true. They have a Go Fest ticket. Yes, there is a final, well, not really surprise, but more like a final kind of like overall ending to the Go Fest experience. And that will happen, of course, in August. So after everything that happens in the real-time events and all those things. So keep in mind how it goes when it comes out to it. But yeah, so again, day one, pretty good, not too bad, and a lot of experiences when it comes to that. I just love, meeting up with people at one point and then just start catching all those
Just
shinies.
bumping into them, yeah.
Yeah.
Bragging about the shinies to each other, yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So when we meet up with like 2 or 3 different people in 3 different cards, and all of a sudden we're like, yeah, I got this. It's like, oh man, I still need this. Like, that's how the experience really is in the end of the day. So I'm happy when it comes down to it. So that was our hauls. That was our experiences when day one. Now, as per usual, other parts of the world usually happen to go first. The Australia region and everything. We kind of already knew how day 2 was going to pan out. However, we decided that we have the ticket. We might as well go ahead and play whatever we can. Day 2 gave us a small, kind of expected surprise with the release of a brand new legendary Pokemon in the form of an Ultra Beast happening for the first time. And this is Nidale's emergence. Now, we did actually talk about Nidale and the Ultra Beast in previous podcasts because they were teasing it out as much as possible. Needless to say, this was GoFest Day 2 reveal of Ultra Beast for the first time in Pokemon Go. Which, in retrospect, lore-wise, I want to say that it's actually a pretty cool story to tell. Only happening in days like this. They kind of did the same thing when 2021 actually happened, and Hoopa was all over the place, just bringing all the legendaries out there. However, the differences between day 1 and 2021 and 2022 day 2 events is that in day 1 we have way more legendaries to go forward with. In day 2 of 2022 we only have 1 legendary to go forward, and that was the Ultra Beast. So Ultra Beast Nidale is here, one of the best poison attackers in the game. Maxes out way over 4,000 CP if you get a good one for raids. We're not sure how it's gonna pan out in the PvP arena. It does get caught above the 2,500, so it's only Master League eligible. But either way, Nidale emergence. So the story goes about the Ultra Wormhole appears. With Professor Willow is actually nowhere to be seen. It looks like he's being sucked by the Ultra Wormhole in the sky. And then we have a brand new character helping us research. A member of the Go Ultra Recon Squad is here. If you actually go through the story in GoFest, at least the ticketed experience, you actually get to go through the special research of how he likes to, or how he wants to explore the human world, at least our world, compared to the ultra space that's the Ultra Beast's emergence and all that. So, interesting story, I gotta say. And you do have a final encounter with Nidale at the end, so even if you don't rate it a lot, you still get a chance to get it. And I believe it just appears all over the world. The rates were a little bit different, at least yes, it was different for day 2 specifically too. Kyogre Groudon disappeared, Nidale is the only one, and Nidale only appears, it doesn't appear in an actual egg, it appears in an Ultra Wormhole through the raids. So that was actually a pretty good, neat change, instead of just thinking that it was just gonna hatch from an egg anyways.
Yeah.
It's a different Pokemon
it's the
altogether.
thought that counts. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's the thought that counts. But that's the experience plus a couple extra days, and all the spawns from day 1 were appearing in day 2. Some of them specifically from instance, just like the unknowns, but everything was just bunched together to shiny hunt and go through basically the list at that point. So before we get over to our hauls, Chris and I were just talking about our experiences once again. Chris, the experience for day 2.
Well. We decided, since I was off today, we were just gonna meet up and do all the raids today, and just kind of grind what we could. We didn't expect there to be great shiny odds for the wild Pokemon. We kind of just knew after what we heard about the other regions that Axew was going to be the go-to with a few other Pokemon thrown in, and that's pretty much what happened. We've rated a little bit of Jello, floating jellyfish man,
Yeah, jellyfish.
and and then after that, it was pretty much 90% Axew rates, I would say.
Right, right. Yeah, it's a good
So
one.
yeah, but I will say I don't know if the shiny odds they couldn't have been full odds. They had to be
Probably
at least a
not.
little bit boosted. It feels like just
Yes.
because we were pulling them in like crazy. Um, like between the two of us, I'd say we got at minimum 2 shinies per hour minimum.
Minimal, yeah. It was actually
Um,
a pretty good experience
yeah,
in shiny wise. Now again, I go back to usually compare it to the 2021 experience when it came to day two and the whole rating thing and everything, which I'm not unopposed to it when it comes to having just a small pool of raids to do. But the difference was that the difference between that year and this year is that at least in that year we had a good chance of getting a shiny legendary through just doing all the raids that were in rotation, plus doing just the shiny Axew on day two and then nothing for the legendaries. Like it would have been nice to keep maybe Kyogre or Groudon into the raids, but I know that they wanted to push the Ultra Beast experience a little bit there, so that's why they didn't want to have it contest with the pool of legendaries at the time. So it was more like, yes, as like you mentioned, 90% of our raids were just Axew. We're waiting for them to spawn. Snorlax was also in the pool in 3-star race, so which is a whole lot shiny for both of us, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of people. So it was kind of nice to actually get the chance to see if we can get something good out of those. And then just a lot of rockets. Unfortunately, Tingle rockets seem to be a little more prominent day two, which it will give you double components for defeating them, but it wasn't really our goal since we knew that we were just going to be hunting shinies and raids most of the time. So the day started just like any other. We actually met up and we were just 8 hours in the car. So that was our experience. We saw a lot of other people doing the same thing. It was a hot day in the summer once again. And after the whole like cloudy, rainy day that we had yesterday, we knew it was gonna be a really, really hot day. I feel like our phones probably wouldn't have survived more than the first few hours that we were walking about doing the race there. But
yeah, no,
again, again, the rotation of the race were actually pretty consistent. Every hour we had eggs spawn, and then after 20 minutes they hatch. 20 minutes of the timer most of the time, and it was kind of nice. It was a good mix between the legendary Nidhello and the other spawns. There were a couple hours where we didn't really want to do mode that any of the raids or any of the hunts. That's when we decided let's just get lunch or something. And then after that, just raids, just waiting for Axew to spawn for the first for the 1-stars, and every now and then maybe get invited to more Axews at the same time. And then of course just shinies that it is. So we're gonna go over shiny hauls now for day two. So H0 and shiny. What you got, Chris?
well, well, well. This day did a lot better. Funny enough, um, because I was out grinding the full time, and it's pretty close, honestly, between Pure Lighter and I.
Mm-hmm.
Which was nice.
Yeah,
Instead of one of us just getting everything and the other person getting nothing.
you still
Um,
got some pretty good ones.
yeah. The first shiny I got was a repeat, shiny Swinub, and already I was screaming. I was like, "Uh oh, it's gonna be one of those days." The next shiny I got was shiny C Dot from Go Plus,
Okay.
and then I got another shiny Swinub, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, Calm Day 2.0, I get it, very funny." And then I finally got a shiny I needed. I got a shiny Buizel.
Yes.
So that was fantastic. After that, I was able to get a shiny Litleo before the Go Plus could try catching it, and I would have undoubtedly missed out on it.
Or rage.
it. Yeah, and then I actually hatched a shiny. I hatched shiny Barboach after that, which I believe is my first one, but I'd have to double check that. I did get another new shiny. I got a shiny Shroomish after that. After that, it was a shiny Binacle. Right before or Binacle. Before we did a raid for the elusive Axew. Was able to get an Ammonite, a Grimer, a third Giraffe Rig, a Go Plus to Shiny Trapinch, wasn't even clicking on
Of
them.
course.
Got a second shiny Shroomish. Pulled up a shiny Metatite, shiny Bronzor, because that one's just a meme on my point. Got a fairly high CP shiny Metatite for the second one of them.
Nice.
A second shiny Grimer from this event, and actually got a female shiny Pikachu. So I got the male and the female. And then the last shiny I got was a shiny Turtwig. So a bunch of repeats, but definitely a lot of new ones. And then I know you got a lot of goodies.
Yeah, I think at this point I actually can say that I got every new shiny introduced into Pokemon GoFest 2022 for that reason, which was fine because again I was going somewhat of a grinder at that point. So I started the day with a Grimer once again, of course, being the very first shiny, being a purple shiny. I go plus a Trapinch and a Seal for some reason. Then I go plus another Grimer somehow. I don't know how the hell. And a Patrap at the same time. So I was getting shinies with the Gold Plus just by clicking on them. I wasn't trying to actually get them because I didn't really want any more of those. But then the brand new shiny that I got was actually the Boltoy, which is brand new for me. Never actually been able to get it in the last few events, so I'm actually happy about that. Then I start getting a Pikachu, a Patrick, and a Pikachu. So 2 female Pikachus, which technically, I mean, I guess it's nice for the collection. Not that I need any more shiny Pikachus, but I know a lot of people were pretty much really trying to get that. So the Patrick was another one that I clicked on by mistake, but of course it was shiny. Same with the Dunsparce. The Shroomish I go plus when I was doing, I think, an action raid at the time. Then the Shelmet, dude. The Shelmet was actually so nice to get for the first time. I'm actually happy that it was the shiny, one of the shinies, the new shinies there. Then it goes over to Trubbish, which again another brand new shiny and a holdout shiny for me. So I'm actually happy about it. Then Burmy for the second time, and this time is the male one. So I'm actually happy because I can actually get 2 of the different versions. I go plus a Trapinch just because of it. Cupchew was finally shiny. This one's without the bow. I had another one, but this one is the one that can evolve, so I'm happy about that too. Mm-hmm. Then another normal. Again, complete the family is always a goal of any shiny hunter. Then I get another Axew, right? After doing what, 20 plus, 20, 30 plus raids in one day or something. Because you're just getting remote invite after remote invite and then doing the ones in person and everything like that. It was crazy. Then another Capchu. I believe this one's Gold Plus. Don't remember actually clicking on it, but I do remember getting a Gold Plus out of it. And then a Seal, which surprisingly enough is somewhat of a PvP IVs. I gotta check if it's actually pretty good in any of the leagues and it's low enough.
Chunky.
And then the final shiny, last few minutes of the day. Just finishing out with the final shiny Carablast. So it's the 2 bug shinies that unfortunately Chris was just not getting, even though he actually got a Baracle. I got every single shiny at the GoFest time. So 21 shinies in total for the say 2, making a total of, I believe, 40 shinies for the entire weekend. And I can't complain for a full weekend of 40 shinies. Just massive wins. Loaded. Happy enough to actually get 2 Axews. I'll definitely evolve 1 or trade 1 to just see if I actually get anything better after that. But 40 shinies for 2 days is incredible. Just a massive haul for sure. But day 2 was a little more of about just doing those kind of things. So we never really planned out to actually meet up with anybody else, just him and I. and then just raid what we can. Um, Everybody else was doing the same. I know probably a lot of people didn't really go out on day 2. My friend who I met up on day 1, I told him about where we're gonna meet and everything, and he just said like fuck it. So it's like he just did his race. He did get a Hondo Axio, and we haven't even talked about the Hondos yet either for day 1 and 2. Did you get any? Yeah, you did get a Hondo, right?
Oh.
Yes, not off the event though.
Yeah, no good axes. Um, Pretty much the only thing that gave me any affection was Gibble.
Oh yeah,
Um, when that guy was in raids.
yeah.
But yeah, just gonna have to wait till Calm Day to get the goodies for this boy.
Especially the shiny, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know Chris only got one shiny the day after GoFest Day 1 because, his handle skipped them. How much I remember.
Oh, I did actually look through and find a random Hondo that we might have caught together.
Oh, really?
Oh, maybe not.
Nah, I don't remember. As for the Hondos, and this is one Hondo that I definitely will actually talk about in just a moment. I did get 4 Hondos throughout the weekend. One of them being a non-event one. It was a Hitmonlee that I just got from a research. And I also got a Rowlet, which I'm happy. I did get the Axew Hondo, so I do have a Hondo Axew to power up and ready to go for Community Day once it comes out in probably 2 years from now. And I got Tita that we were actually during the community at the first half of hours day 1. However, though, my coup de grace wasn't through the weekend. It was actually a couple of days before the weekend. Funny enough, I went to Raid Hour, and I wanted to do all the Kyogres I could for Raid Hour. And I met some community members that really wanted to do it. So I had a lucky tray that I wasn't planning of doing until I actually saw him. And since we have 2 lucky trays or 2 special trays per day now, I said, let's go ahead and do it. I gave him a Pachirisu that I got from 2019, and he traded me an Absol. Shiny Absol, for that regard, since it's been a holdout, not a holdout shiny, but a holdout Hondo for the Mega. You can get where this is going if anybody is thinking of this, but yes, I was able to get a traded Absol, shiny Absol, lucky Shando Absol as my Hondo for Mega Absol. So instantly make it at my body, and now I'm going through the motions to power up. I didn't have enough candies until today to actually fully power up to max level 50. So now I can introduce my level 50 shiny lucky Absol and Mega and all. So actually, now that we think about it, I haven't Mega evolved for today yet. So how about we actually go through the motions and get our beautiful Shalando Absol, Mega Absol here. It's insane. Over 3,000 CP at level 50, over 3,500 CP at level 50. So that's actually pretty good. It's just a beautiful. It's my coup de grace. This is my 3rd Shando ever. Again from a tray. The other ones are Dragonite and Giratina, which Giratina was from a raid. But anyway, so I'm happy about this. I think throughout the whole weekend, I think this is like the Hondo to get, the Shando to get. I'm happy about it. But yeah, that was my experience for the week too. It's incredible. It was just incredible. And I'm happy that everything else seemed to just fall into place for a lot of the shinies and a lot of the things we did anyway. So I think that I want to say that this GoFest event, at least GoFest itself, was a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I could definitely put it up there. I think the only thing that kind of was a bit disheartening was only the stuff going on with the incense, but even that wasn't horrible.
Yeah, it was a bad thing, but nobody really complained aside from probably here and there a couple of people.
Yeah.
But still, it was a 10 out of 10. The only controversy that they 2 had, I think Niantic actually pointed out, is that there was a glitch where whenever you start a raid, it would just kick you out no matter what or have a network error. They did disclose that in one of their Twitter posts. They think they were looking for a way to fix it, but after that, I did not hear the complaint from anybody raiding or doing anything in day 2.
Yeah, at least we didn't have any issues with it, but we refreshed the app data like right after we saw that.
Yeah, it was more like we just restarted the game and also refreshed
Yeah,
that as much as we could. So it was fun. It was really really fun, and I'm glad what it is. Hopefully, Seattle will be amazing once we actually get to
yeah.
it. That's gonna be another amazing one. But yeah,
Uh,
that's our golf experience that we we already been talking about for what 45 minutes about all this.
yeah, I'll add on a little bit more to that really quick. The
Yes.
Hondas I got were definitely not as crazy.
Yeah.
When I got home, I already showed you I got that Hundo Skiploom, and that one was weird.
Yeah.
And then it turns out the reason you didn't have the second Hundo I have is because it was hatched. It was a a freaking Whalmer.
Yes.
So yeah,
Oh,
I'll
you
take
got
it.
the Welmer, the one with the one of them hatched in there. It was a hundo.
Yeah, one of the ones I hatched was a Hundo, and apparently I didn't delete it, so that's good.
You're lucky enough you didn't. That's good.
Yeah,
Oh, hello, Mr.
but
Mark.
that was it.
Yes. Best gen and best Pokemon for each generation. We'll definitely, get to that when we can, and if I get the chance we do. But GoFest in itself, our retrospect and everything was actually pretty amazing. So I'm glad how things went. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about some news because we actually have a little bit of news to cover today. Mostly working with what we're going to be doing now. Before I guess we should just go right into it. So the very first thing that they announced is that during the summer and during the whole time, we're gonna have ultra unlocks, just like any other GoFest events that happens. So get ready this summer with Pokemon GoFest 2021 Ultra Unlocks. Between the global event, the Berlin event, the Seattle event, and the Spore event, all of them will have the ability to unlock ultra unlocks throughout the full summer. So this is not just a one and thing done. The next event is probably gonna have something or things like that. No, this is gonna be throughout the entire summer, and that is what's going to be amazing for the ultra unlocks. So, Chris, if I can have you go over the challenges or the bonuses, or I'm guessing, I guess the what we're going to be getting every time we unlock something, starting at the trainers will be able to earn ultra unlock bonuses by completing the gold challenges.
All right. I didn't know about too many of these till I was with Pure Lighter today, actually. But uh, we found out that the trainers will be able to unlock the Ultra Unlock bonuses by completing the global challenges during the fall events. So we already completed a bunch of these. The Global Pokemon Go Fest events. If trainers complete at least 20 of the global challenges, they'll unlock Ultra Unlock bonuses for Adventure Week.
Which we'll go
And
over
then
in a few.
yeah. We have a few more that are going to be in the future. We have the Pokemon Go Fest Berlin, and if trainers complete the event's global challenges, or challenge for that, actually just one,
It's
they'll
actually the
earn
global
an
challenge, yeah.
they'll earn a Ultra Unlock bonus for the anniversary event. If for Pokemon Go Fest Seattle, if trainers complete this event's global challenge, just one, they'll earn Ultra Unlock bonuses for a to be revealed event. Interesting. And then Pokemon Go Fest Sapporo.
Sapporo.
If trainers complete this event's global challenge, they'll earn Ultra Unlock bonuses for a to be revealed event again. So that's weird that they would tell you it's for an event that isn't even announced yet, but very interesting.
Well, we knew about by the time this was announced, we knew about the ones for Adventure Week, and we're gonna actually go over the whole news event for Adventure Week, which is actually looking to be pretty amazing. I don't think we talked about all the event on the last podcast, if I remember correctly.
It might have dropped like right after
I
the
think
last
they,
podcast.
I think all they did was just give us the season of Go, but yes, it did. The news was actually during the week, just not at the time of the last recording. So yeah. So just like Kristen mentioned, each one of the GoFests will give us ultra unlock for events consistently to the next event that happens after the GoFest itself. The one in June, which was this weekend. The one in Berlin, which I believe, if I go to the news section or to the event section, the one in Berlin is gonna happen in July 1st to the 3rd, so at the beginning of next month. Then we have Seattle, which is the second to last GoFest for us, and which I'll be attending, in July 22 to July 24. And then we have, of course, Sapporo happening from August 5th to August 7th, with the correspondence event happening at the end. I say at the end of all that, through the last event that they announced, if you buy the ticket through the GoFest. But anyway, so it's the Ultra Unlocks in that regard. I expected the anniversary one to happen right after the next GoFest, or at least in-person GoFest when it comes down to it. And then Seattle and Sapporo will, of course, be re-announced on those. I hope they're actually pretty good. But so far, so what we've seen, the Ultra Unlocks seem to be pretty amazing from what we can see. So that's what's happening with the Ultra Unlocks. Now let's go over what the Adventure Week is gonna bring and what the Ultra Unlock happened to actually unlock. So Adventure Week, it's here, it's back after I don't know how many years at this point. But this is basically the rocked fossil type event that we always had in Pokemon Go and Pokemon proper.
Easily one of the top events.
Yes, especially because the Pokemon that spawn during these events are just so rare that it's amazing that we have at least a week to prepare to actually catch as many as we can throughout this. So are we ready for new adventure? Well, I mean, it is Adventure Week. Through the rocky traps and the fields of fossils, this year's Adventure Week invites trainers to head outside and spend some time with their favorite rock type or fossil Pokemon. Update. It says, congratulations, trainers. You have dug up a gem now. Throughout your collection, you've been able to turn Adventure Week into Ultra Adventure Week. Fitting, I guess. Let's talk about all the excited adventures and bonuses waiting for store in you this year. So, when is the event happening? This is happening Tuesday, June 7th, which is literally a couple of days from now, to Sunday, June 12th at 8 p.m. local time. We have brand new fossil Pokemons debuting into Pokemon Go, and this is the Gen 6 fossils that we've been waiting for a while. Tyrone and Amora are coming into Pokemon Go for the very first time. And that's actually pretty cool. I do love these fossils out of almost every single one of them out there. I love the Tyrone being just
both of them are just fantastic.
Yeah, they're just peak design in the fossil category, when I can tell you the least. The event bonuses, we have 2 times experience from spinning Pokestops. And then through the Ultra Unlock, we got the half hash distance when eggs are placed in incubator during the event's period. So we at least have, this is funny because it's what we're actually going to be talking about. And then we also have 5 times experience for spinning Pokestop for the very first time. With a lucky egg, that's 10 times experience if you spin a brand new Pokestop. It is insane.
Wasn't it 2 times XP last year?
I think it was 10 times, but that's because of the bonuses that were actually in there. Yeah. So
oh my gosh.
They kind of like ramped that out a little bit, but I don't remember exactly how it went from last year. So, also through the Ultra Unlock, an unknown appears in the wild, and this is unknown, not in the wild. Sorry. Unknown F appears. So Unknown F will be available in race during the Adventure Week as the Ultra Unlock bonus. If you are lucky, you might encounter a shiny Unknown F. If everybody in the chat could just go ahead and put an F in the chat, that would be amazing, because I don't know if I'm going to be spending that much money.
F for your wallet.
Please, F for my wallet and everybody else's wallet at this point. But yeah, so the correspondent rates. Chris, how about you go over the rates now?
All right. Okay. 1-star raids. We're going to have Geodude, Alolan Geodude, Sudowoodo, shout out Mystic7, Roggenrola, and Unknown F. We got 3-star raids, Rhydon, Shuckle, let's go, Tyranitar, and Aggron. And the only 5-star raid is going to be Groudon, which still has that shiny chance, obviously.
Yes.
And then for the only Mega raid, you're going to have Mega Aerodactyl.
Which it really doesn't help to do Mega Aerodactyl or even Mega it if you're going to do a Groudon at that point. So.
Yeah, no, you're just doing it for the Mega energy, really, right?
Basically. But yeah, so those are the rates. And then we have a Ultra Unlock bonus that's time research throughout the event. It will be focused on exploring, will be available throughout the whole event, and then complete the task to earn 3 free incubators. Now, I'm not sure if each incubator will be a 3 uses or a one use when it comes down to it. We'll know once the event starts, basically. And then another Ultra Unlock has happened, and this is a Research Day Ultra Unlock on Sunday, June 12th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. local time. The featured Pokemons for this Research Day will be Cranidos and Shieldon. The limited task will be available when you spin photos this at Pokestops. Complete them to encounter Shieldon and Cranidos, and you'll have a higher chance. Note, you'll have a higher chance of encountering shiny ones. Boy, oh boy!
Ted Day all over again, man.
Oh my goodness. It's been a while since we had a Research Day, and I'm definitely going to go to a more popular area for this, for all this event. So it's going to be fun. However, that's not all. We're also going to have a wild encounter. Tyrum and Amora will be appearing more frequently in the wild depending on the hour. Keep an eye on the sky when you see Amora. You might notice some special weather. Ooh. Interesting. So, Tyrum, it will be appearing from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. local time. And Amora is going to appear from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. local time. Maybe something to do with Amora's special ability. Something similar to it. I guess that's how they're trying to pan it out.
I'm curious, but at least what makes sense to me is that they'd have the Aurora Borealis going on, but I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, that would be amazing. That would actually be pretty cool if you actually see that in game.
Yeah, I can imagine it for sure. Niantic's pretty cool about doing, needless stuff on the map.
Yeah, we'll definitely going to be playing that day. And it's a Sunday, so I guess, a lot of people will actually be happy about it. It is a daytime event, so it's going to be really hot. But, yeah, we'll be fine when it comes down to it. When it comes to shinies, especially shiny fossils, we'll definitely do all of that. And then we're going to have wild encounters throughout the whole Research Day, or the Ultra Research Day, I guess. So Diglett, Alolan Diglett, Geodude, Alolan Geodude, Onix, Rhydon, Sudowoodo, Iron, and Dwebble will be appearing in the wild. And every single one of them can be shiny, so you good luck with that. Oh my goodness. Bunch of Rhydons, that's interesting. And then if you are walking, or at least if you walk enough through Adventure Sync, Ultra Unlock Adventure Sync rewards will be, if you claim your Adventure Sync rewards in Monday, June 13th, you have an increased rewards when it comes to Adventure Sync. This is actually kind of interesting, but I guess that since, you're going to be walking a bunch throughout the whole week, I hope you can get to do 50 kilometers and maybe get extra good ones. So you never know. That'd be amazing. But that's the Ultra Unlock part of it. Our wild encounters usually of the entire event will be, of course, Rhydon, Omanyte, Kabuto, Larvitar, Aeron, Lilliput, Anorat, Cranidos, and Shieldon. If you're lucky, you might encounter things like Gravetal, Aerodactyl, and Pupitar. Most of the ones in the regular spawn pool can be shiny, so good luck, trainers, for anybody trying to get some fossils from all events, and Cranidos and Shieldon being in the wild too is pretty nice. So. And eggs, 7K eggs. It's a good thing that we have half-size distance now, right, Chris?
Yes.
The 7K eggs will have a pool of fossil and, rock-type Pokemon and all that. So Shackle, Slugma, Cranidos, Shieldon, Tortuga, and Archon will be in 7K eggs, and Tyrum and Amora. All of them can be shiny except for the new ones, at least. So get those eggs hatching, I guess. Again, F in the chat for, all my money here.
Dude, yeah, these 7 kilometers are actually stacked. I usually don't hatch 7Ks. At least I haven't for a few events, but this is, literally stacked.
It's the event for it, basically.
Shuckle? I mean, come on. No.
Hey, even Slugma, I'll be happy to do that, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, shiny Slugma or Shuckle, I still wouldn't be mad. Those are awesome.
Yes. Then we have field research encounters. Again, most of the Pokemon that I mentioned, Omanyte, Kabuto, Aerodactyl, Lilliput, Anorats, Cranidos, Shieldon, Tyron, and Amora will be in most of close regular research. And if you're lucky, you might encounter research for Tortuga and Archon. If you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny one, of course. So far, I think that this event seems to be a powerhouse of event after the GoFest Weekend. Just a lot of different spawns, a lot of rare spawns, a lot of shiny possibilities, and through the Ultra Unlock, it's just helped out a whole lot in the end of the day to help us out throughout the event. So, any thoughts on this, Chris?
This event just looks like the perfect way, to keep grinding right after GoFest. Like I literally want to go crazy on these.
Yes, no, definitely. If I didn't spend enough money, I'll definitely get to spend more money, anyways.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, at least
um,
I get paid right when this event starts. I'll tell you
okay,
that.
that's good. That's good. There is one downside, which a lot of people pointed out. There are new shinies that actually aren't being introduced, which is Tortuga and Archon, which are brand new shinies. However, Tortuga and Archon has been the most rarest fossils to ever encounter in Pokemon Go. Just in general, has been like one of the worst encounter rates in anywhere that you go to. I don't know if they're actually like hidden in parts of the world that we're not entirely sure. We sometimes probably talk about it during the seasonal changes, but that's pretty much it. The only problem also is that Tortuga and Archon will only be available in through the special research if you find them, or the egg pool if you hatch them. So not a lot of chances to really get the shiny when you're actually trying to grind a brand new shiny in this regard. If you're lucky, you might encounter one, but if not, then it is what it is. They will definitely not be spawning in the wild or in raids for that regard. So that's kind of like a bummer part when it comes down to it. Either way, Niantic is making money out of us, and we'll definitely see how it is in all its glory. So, Chris, any final thoughts?
Um, I will say literally the only saving grace is that I saw that they have it in research encounters too.
Yeah.
But I really do feel like for events like this, they need to at least have it, in the wild or just somewhere,
It
that
will
we can
be.
get it easily for free.
Yeah, the whole maybe having it in the wild as a really lucky chance of getting it will probably
Yeah.
be a lot easier than just having it in the wild in that regard, or just
I
eggs
mean,
of
like
research. So
even in raids, they could still argue, like, Niantic's way, that you're able to get it with your free raid pass, at least once a day.
or
Like
yeah,
at
once a day.
least they
Yeah.
could argue that. But
That's true. Yeah, it really depends on Niantic at that point, and in the end of the day,
yeah,
so it is what it is. Good luck, trainers, on your hatches, Chinese, and adventure lucks. So, one little piece of miscellaneous news: we are on a new month, so if you go to Prime Gaming and claim your rewards from it, just go ahead and go if you have Prime Gaming on the end of the day for a couple extra Pokeballs and lucky egg and everything. So, not too shabby. All right, let's go ahead and get to the end of our PvP section here. Get good, get wrecked. Here we go, Chris.
all right, all right, all right.
Season 11 has started. Did you claim your reward with a star piece on? Hopefully. I probably
I
didn't.
hope you guys did because I did not.
Nah, me neither. So I completely forgot about.
Even after I told you guys,
Yeah.
I feel like I cheated myself.
Yeah. Well, season 1 has, or season 11 has started. Have you done any battles since then?
Yes. Well, part of the reason I did some today was because I picked the Battle Master for that sticker.
Right.
Still completing that, but I was actually worried because I was doing so many GBL yesterday and this morning, just because I was really excited to get out and actually play today. That I do so many that I wouldn't be able to do the quest.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I know, right?
I was so worried. But I didn't play too crazy apparently. I had plenty to keep going. But yeah, loving the remix. It's definitely uh any locked down meta, you got to worry about less. So there's just a lot more you can do.
Yeah.
Or it's more predictable. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah. I would like to reach the highest rank, but if it's a ranked season, then it's gonna be rough. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely. I probably will start doing some battles soon, just because I am in the level 50 challenge, and I gotta win through 15 battles in the Go Battle League. So
Easy, easy, man.
I gotta wait probably just a little bit more. I'm be done with the catches probably by next week if I do everything correctly. So I'll probably pretty much finish it by next week if I'm too dedicated to it. So, but yeah, that is season 11, the start. A lot of people are kind of like meh when it comes down to it, I guess. Factions update. What do you got?
We didn't do as well as last week. But I will say, even when we fell on our butts, we still didn't fall that hard, which was pretty nice. At least our captain is saying, we honestly could have done worse.
Oh yeah.
Which is awesome. I'm gonna pull up the exact score. I will say, in my match, I went 2-1. A few of my other members went 2-1. So we weren't doing, horrible. Our opponents did win with basically double our points. They were able to get 14-7. So they were able to pull off 3 sweeps on us. They're very talented. I've seen a lot of their names before. Very, very cool people. It was Switchmasters versus Lucky Mucks. And this is their 3rd win this season. They're 3-0.
Oh, nice.
So they said they barely missed out on the gold tier.
Oh.
And they're definitely trying to get up the gold. I'll tell you what.
Oh, they're grinding.
But we're looking for redemption next week. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that.
All right, you'll get it. I'm sure you will. When it comes down to it, but All right, so congratulations and good luck. So pretty much it. But that's really it when it comes to anything PvP wise. I believe there was a new Silt Arena that we haven't covered, but we can cover next week if anything. When it comes down to it, we're running long already from the office and everything, so I'm pretty sure that we can cover that another time with more news. But to end our podcast, we were gonna ask our weekly question. So make sure that you head over to our Twitter, Purified Podcast, or at Purified Podcast on Twitter to answer, or you can join our Discord when it comes down to this. Last week we have, what do you think about this new season of Go update, and what are you most looking forward to? Definitely a lot of cool spawns has been happening since the season started, so I'm actually happy about that. We didn't get any responses, so I hope that you can interact for the next one if possible. This week we have the question: how was your experience of Pokemon GoFest 2022? What was your biggest win? And bonus if you share pictures with us on our Twitter feeds. Definitely getting the shiny Axios and the Hondo was actually one of my biggest wins out of the whole weekend. Not counting, of course, the Shando Absol, but that's because it wasn't GoFest entirely. So just getting the Hondo is amazing. I always look forward the pseudo legendaries out there, so I'm happy about getting any of the dragon ones as Hondo as possible. Any good wins out of yours, Chris?
For
GoFest.
For GoFest?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was reading something else. What was the question? What was your biggest win?
Yeah.
Personally, I would say probably the shiny Galarian Weezing.
Yeah.
We were both hoping for that unknown, but honestly, I think the Weezing is going to be one of the hardest shinies to obtain in the future. So I'm definitely glad able to snag that.
Yeah, pretty much getting early, mostly because I believe Niantic will definitely find us a way to evolve through it when it comes down to it. So
yeah, I think that will be in the future for sure. Yeah.
Little by little, but we'll get there. So that's a pretty good win for me too. But the Axio, just getting the Hondo.
You think the Axio was your best one?
Hey, I'm a Hondo man. I love the Hondos.
My gosh!
Get to it.
Screaming.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, those are the biggest wins when it comes down to it. And then anything else to add, Chris? Anything that we should know about?
I think we covered everything pretty well. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed GoFest.
Yes.
It was definitely crazy.
Well, thank you so much for everybody for listening to the podcast and everything in between. Thank you for coming to our Twitch feed to actually look at us when we have reactions of anything. But if you want to listen to more or this week's podcast coming up in Wednesday, it will be on our Apple Podcast services feeds, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, many places to really go about it, even Spotify or anything. If you can leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate it. Our socials, myself at Pure Let It Go, Pokemon Trigger Please, and the Purified Podcast. So make sure you head over to Twitter for the question of the week and anything else. purifiedpodcast@gmail.com for any type of emails that you want to send us. We will definitely feature on the show if you want to talk to us or even mention anything about your day. That would be nice. Head over to our Discord if you want to interact with us a little bit closer. It is a free Discord. We don't charge anything for admission. So if you want to come over and just talk about Pokemon in general or Pokemon Go, we're always there in the end. And don't forget to check us out at the Purified Podcast at .com, the Professor Network. With that being said, Chris, I believe you can take us away for the night.
All right, all right, all right. Another year in the books. Pokemon Go Fest, in my opinion, has definitely been a success, and I really hope everybody got the shinies they were most hunting for, even if, one got away. Accident. We got a big week looking forward, right in front of us, Adventure Week. So, get out there again, get those shinies, and we'll see you next week, guys. Peace out.
Keep purifying them, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.